afternoon, good evening, good morning, putting you folks. It's your man, all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Vitamin Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, this is my first interview for the new month of June, and it's like saying time is flying. It seems like we just started 2024,
Where's it
and
gone?
we're already into half the year down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. So, folks, as you know, as a content maker, I always reach out to people. I know you guys. I know you like to, we talk to a certain group of women in the sport. But as a content maker, I talk to anybody that interests me, and also somebody whose story might interest you. Maybe this is somebody who might even inspire you to get into bodybuilding. And one thing also, I'm one of my favorite mottos, like my man Jerome. I am an international player from the Himalayas. And I got this lovely lady here, and this is the fourth competitor I got to interview, actually from down under. I've interviewed four lovely ladies from the land down under, Australia, and this is going to be my fourth one. Right here, we have the lovely Mrs. Charlotte Todros. If I got her name wrong, if you apologize, let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she competed about a month ago at the
Yeah.
Melbourne Grand. Mhm, yeah,
So the fifth of April was my debut for IFBB, where it was in Australia. We have states, so I competed in Victoria for figure, and so there were three categories: first timers, masters, and open. And so I walked away with 3 medals. And then I got invited back to the Nationals, which is the Amateur Grand Prix, and that is a pro qualifier IFBB, which feeds through NPC. So then that gets you, if you really, really want to go that far, to Olympia. And so I competed for Nationals for figure and also physique, but I'll tell you a story for that. And then I walked away with 2 silvers. So very, very happy with that for my debut into the bodybuilding world at the tender age of 50.
You're not, like I said. There's a lot of ladies like yourself who are much mature. Like I just saw a lady who was 55 years old and just got her Olympic qualification. It was in
Yes.
Ultima, and she's also competing this weekend at the Omaha Pro. And also at the same time, a lady she competed with to in women's physique is the lovely Mrs. Tracy Guile,
Oh,
who is Tracy's on her right now. She's over there and she's making her pro debut. Shout out to Tracy. So, madam, this is a question I often ask you, ladies: what got you started in this sport, as we call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
well, to be quite honest, I was always sort of sporty as a younger person and getting older, and then you get married, and I've had 2 beautiful girls. And as you put yourself last because you're putting your children first, and then just time over time, I put on a little bit of weight here and there, and literally over 15 years I blew out to 120 kilos. So that's what, 240 pounds in American. So I'm 5'4", and I got to the age of 45, and there was a family photo taken at my parents' house, and to be brutally honest, it didn't tell any lies. I was obese. I was pre-diabetic. I had high blood pressure at the age of 45, and I thought, oh my God, I shouldn't be this way. So I literally just drove into the nearest gym to me in this town at the time, and walked in and said, I want to change my life. I'm sick of making excuses. Anyway, so I got myself a PT and signed up to the gym that very day, and made a promise to myself that I was going to change my life, change my lifestyle, because I was sick of making excuses. I'd basically run out of excuses. And so I promised myself I would walk every single day for an hour, rain, hail or shine. And I started my Instagram, 4.5 years ago. And that's all it consisted of. It was just me walking every day. It's way down in the archives. And so, you know, little by little, it was just consistency. And you had the devil and the angel on your shoulders. I don't want to get out of bed, it's cold. Oh, I don't want to get out of bed, it's raining. And then the angel on the shoulders, like, no, you made a promise to yourself. This is a change of life. You've only got one life, so you know, got to make the most of it. So little by little, chipping away. I lost 55 kilos over a period of time by learning about nutrition and exercise and sleep. And, you know, as you get into the gym, you get to know people and you ask lots of questions. And then I did a bodybuilding competition 2 years ago. It's now, the federation has now folded. It's called FMG now, but they had a transformation category. And so I did that. So I was very, very proud of myself to step on stage 2 years ago at 48. And again, if you go down my Instagram, you'll probably see those photos. And then, but I didn't reverse properly. I just felt a bit lost and things like that. So I sort of asked around the gym. I was living on the Gold Coast in Australia at the time, and had some great camaraderie around the gym. Shout out to Emily King and Matt O'Reilly for King Bodies. Fantastic people there. Hattie Boydell as well. There's a huge sort of mecca on the Gold Coast there in the fitness industry, where I trained out of World Gym. And then I was, you know, in a build post this sort of show, and then doing some deadlifting. And unfortunately, I tore my supraspinatus right off my humerus bone. Like, I couldn't even lift my arm. So I required surgery for that. And that was done on the Gold Coast. And then, so during that time, I was watching some IFBB shows up on the Gold Coast. And there was one particular guy that I saw get his pro card, and his name was Mike Halusi, who is now my current coach. So he got me through my shoulder reconstruction and through my rehab. I moved towns, so I signed up with Mike and did a big build with him. And I said, look, I want to step on stage, but I want to do IFBB. So we worked together, and he said, yep, I can get you to stage. And literally April last month was my IFBB debut. And so that was for states, and then again for nationals, signing up for nationals. I think it was like 2 weeks later. I was approached by my coach, and he said, we have a situation here. We have a competitor that's going for her pro card, and we need the people had dropped out from the states for nationals, and she wasn't eligible to get her pro card if she was the only one registered. So without hesitation, I said, yep, absolutely, I will register for physique, having done no prep, no choreography, nothing, because I was prepping for figure. I said, absolutely. So I met up with Tracy and I said, yep, I will register for physique, so then you're eligible for your pro card. And standing on that stage for me for nationals was way more fun, knowing that I was helping somebody else, having no clue about the category. I mean, I've watched it, but for me, I hadn't done any practice or anything like that. I literally chose the song on the way down the highway the morning of the national championships, and I did my choreography 10 minutes before I stepped on stage. But I absolutely, phenomenally, it was great to be there with Tracy and see her get her pro card. Was way more than I ever experienced, you know, wanted for me, for my days, that I got more out of that. And I think that whole bodybuilding camaraderie and lifting each other up, and it's a big community, it's a big family, And for me to then come home to my home gym, which is a world gym in Albury, and to bring home all my medals and things like that, people look up to me, and the young girls, I'm a good role model, not just for the young girls, but also women my age, in their 40s, 50s and beyond. They look up to me and say, right, well, she can do it, and it's all about consistency and sharing your knowledge and helping people out in the gym and stuff, and stopping to say hi and things like that. But absolutely love it. And then through World Gym, I have met some amazing people, and I ended up being sponsored by B-Strap. So a couple of boys on the Gold Coast have created a gym accessory that blows your mind, like made me get the incredible arms that I have. The traditional sort of straps that, the rope straps and things like that. So, you use I've got this one, this is the Goliath, that one's for your lats and your back. The Sakura I have for doing my tries, and then there's the Mini B as well, for various other gym accessories. But to be sponsored going into a show, it was humbling, absolutely humbling. And also to show women out there, it's not just for the 20-year-olds that you can be picked up and be sponsored. So I've also been picked up by a sup company called Primabolics here in Australia, with their sups and their proteins as well. And then recently in January, I was also picked up by an apparel brand, Muscle Nation, as well. I'm not sure if you heard of it. It is worldwide, but predominantly, again, it's very, very strong here in Australia. And another great company is the Good Rice Society. The Good Society. They do cream of rice, because I can't eat oats. It just doesn't sit well in my gut. So, there's all my Instagram has grown organically, but I've got these fantastic Australian companies that have all supported me from day one, and I love supporting Australian-made companies. And just showcasing that, you don't have to be 20 to be picked up by these fantastic companies along the way. And I use them. It's not that I showcase something because someone's given me a DM and I put it on for 5 minutes. I've been eating cream of rice for like the last 3.5 years. I was paying for it. Same with Primabolics, with their protein. I was buying it and stuff for years and years and years. So I've come on board with these companies because I've been eating it, wearing it, and using it, and they have turned around and supported me because, again, I use it every day, and I'm an everyday lady, and I promote it in an organic way.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's good. Sponsorship does help for a lot of competitors because the cost of doing the shows, and for you women, it's costs you a lot more because you got to think about it.
Heels, makeup, hair, jewelry, it can blow out big time if you don't have a tight budget. And then there's registration on top of that as well. So, each time you do a show, so state show, national show, and then a week later I did PCA. So, 3 registrations, 2 different bikinis, makeup, and don't forget the tanning as well. Whereas a couple, the guys just get their pair of shorts out and a tan, but certainly the cost for women is a lot more.
Yeah, because I say this, this guy's got to wear a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, if there was I know in amateurs, you're just competing to see if you can turn pro. While we hit the pro level, that's when you start seeing the prize money is not that much better for women in the pro level because we're talking about this. Yeah.
For sure.
Can we talk about this on my channel where just recently Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, he's raising up the men's open to $500,000, and then he drops your division figure, physique and women's bodybuilding. Well, in saying that was no money. Well, if you can pull up another couple $100,000, you can spread the wealth a little bit among other divisions. We have here some people here. In the live, we have my man Lawrence Perkins says, "Good evening, Miss Charlotte and George. Good evening to you, Lawrence. Also, this is from man KLA the Wanderer. It says, hey, how's it hanging? Yeah, how you doing? And this is from a man Balls Deep. He says, what up and salute. Yeah,
So
salute. So
nice.
when you first time you competed, what was that feeling for you? Be on stage, you're pretty much about butt naked, when you got the light shining on you. What was that feeling for you as a competitor making debut?
Oh, honestly, you train and train and train and train, and you're dieting down, and you're so laser focused down that vortex that the days, approaches, and then you got your peak week. Show day goes so quickly, and with the state qualifiers, I was nervous as hell. Not only nervous just because I was stepping on stage, I was being judged. Society, it's like you try and not get judged by people, but yes, you're going into a bodybuilding competition and people are critiquing your body. And again, I'm a mum. I've got stretch marks from having children. Stepping on stage in a bikini terrified me, but excited me at the same time. And at the end of the day, with all the photos and the videos that I've seen, nobody really sees the stretch marks anyway. And some bodybuilders have stretch marks from growing as well. So no one really cares. And I kind of got that feeling like no one really cares. But I was so nervous, but so proud. And the adrenaline just kicks in, and it goes really, really quick. So I think for states, for me, it went really, really quickly, and I didn't really embrace and enjoy the whole day. So when it came down to nationals 2 weeks later, had an absolute ball. I was dancing, backstage in between categories, and I saw other girls nervous as hell. So I tried to encourage them to enjoy the day. So now that I've done that from my debut, leading into my next show, I will certainly enjoy it a hell of a lot more. And you turn your nerves into excitement, and it just changes the dynamics.
Yeah, because it's a process to people don't understand that when you're out there on that stage, you're hungry, you're dehydrated, you're tired, but and you're in the division where you have to wear those heels. I mean, you stand around in heels, you just you got to turn, and there's a lot of work to this.
Biggest fear was falling over, or my bikini exploding and falling off, or something. You have all these vivid dreams leading into your show, going falling over and legs in the air sort of thing, but none of that happens. I haven't seen anyone fall over or anything like that, or any sort of mishaps with their bikinis. But yeah, it was a bit of fun and excitement. And if anyone is ever thinking about doing it, I highly recommend it. It's a fantastic environment, and everyone's there to support you. And backstage, everyone is just, it's a community. And figure actually isn't that popular because it's a bit more hardcore than bikini. And then, look, I take my hat off to Tracy because she's doing physique, and that's, bigger again. And then, in the American tours and things, I think there's the bodybuilding for women as well. So they aren't that popular because you have to work really, really, really hard. It's certainly not for the faint-hearted, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Absolutely. Getting down to about 3-4% body fat was something that I worked really, really hard to do. As you can see, I'm now, 8 weeks post-show. I've put on intentional weight with my coach. We're working through a building phase for the next 6 weeks, and then we'll do some tidying up and stuff along the way. So, yeah, but highly recommend it. Fantastic.
And you mentioned Coach Odie. Y'all been together for quite some time, and that's good to have a good relationship with your coach, because sometimes I've heard stories that sometimes coaches will give the same cookie cutter plan, especially for women. You can't give the same thing to a woman compared to a man.
No.
Biology is one thing, there's factors, because we can put on muscle a lot easier than women can.
Yeah.
And then also being that you had children, being a mother. Some people don't think that women with muscles can be. It's like it's the idea. The idea of femininity is that women can have children, but you had your children. How are your
Yes.
girls? How are your girls?
I've got my eldest daughter. She's 19. She'll be 20 this year. She's second year university, so I think that's college for you guys over
Yeah, it's
there.
college. We call it college or university here too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then my youngest daughter, she's 17, so she's in her second last year of high school. So I think
That's almost like that's maybe she's a junior or senior in because we have like high school for us is like 4 years. You
yeah.
have your freshman, your sophomore, then you junior, and then the last one is senior. That's
And
how
then
we
when
do
you
it.
finish the school, then it's university after that.
Well, not everybody go to university. That's
No, not
expensive. Yeah,
right.
America. You go to school in America,
That's
it's expensive.
the educational ladder sort of thing. Yes,
Uh,
yes. She's in her second last year of so what is she, a senior, I suppose. Yeah.
It's about singing. So
Yeah, it
we got
was.
here from my man Lawrence Perky. He says, you a strong inspirational mother and a mentor to others that inspired by you, Miss Charlotte. Also, he says this. He says, that's a blessing and congratulations to both of your daughters, Miss Charlotte. Thank you, Lawrence. He's a fan of you ladies. So, and the thing is, you got two teenagers, and I know they're saying, Mom, why you always? My friends want to go to your shows and simply say, "Man, we look at your mom." And you're like, "Jesus, I
It's
know
funny
that."
you say that. Yeah, because in the beginning, like when I first started at the gym, my kids didn't really understand. They're like, "Oh, Mum, do you have to go to the gym?" And I said, "Well, it's something I'm doing for me. It's something. It started off small. I planted the seed, and then that's when I started my Instagram. And they were like, "Oh, cringe. That's embarrassing, Mum. You're a mum. You shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff." Whereas now, all my friends, all my children's friends follow me, and they call me Muscle Mummy, and they actually think it's cool that their mum goes to the gym and works out and competes. So it's done this huge 180, and just showing my daughter's also the one that's at uni. She's now going to the gym and learning about diet and exercise and things like that. So if I can be a role model to my children, that's got to be a positive, and also to young and older people out there as well. But yeah, look, honestly, it's I'm also a registered nurse. I do shift work as well. I work in theatres, so it's all about time management. So again, when I made that decision to change my life, it's there's 24 hours in a day, and you set your priorities, and I look at life from a different perspective now. So, like you've only got one life. I'm 50, so I'm not diabetic. Well, I was pre-diabetic. I did have high blood pressure. I don't have any of those things now. My skin is a lot clearer. I don't have any Botox, as you can see. No, it's all natural here. So, but certainly, I think I'm reversing the aging process by having stronger bone density, eating clean, having muscles, and I look at not just for the next 2 years, 5 years of Charlotte's just a bodybuilder or whatever. I'm looking at it for longevity for life. In my 60s and 70s and 80s, I want to be able to carry my shopping bags by myself when I'm 70, not have someone do it for me. I want to be able to climb up and down stairs, hang out the washing, basic things that people in their 60s and 70s struggle with, or even their 50s.
I can tell you, yeah, I can tell you experience because I'm 50 in November. I have some issues. I also have a pacemaker because I had a heart attack when I was before I was 40. And I remember because I was taking care of my mom, she was sick, and I was almost at 500 pounds. But then I started, when she passed and I didn't have her to worry about, I said, now it's time to worry about me. And I dropped some pounds. I still have some issues here and there, but I've gotten better with it. And that's the thing about process. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder because sometimes there's some things I like to eat, and I just, it's just hard to break away from. I just had a pizza this afternoon, and but I try to eat a little smarter. And the thing is, you have to make those choices. This is to change your life for your health and for your longevity. This is from a man. This is from a man, Davis Adam. He says, "That's great, thank you, Davis." And and also you're married. And what's your husband's name?
Marco. So
Marco.
he's Italian. Yeah, he's a very behind the scenes kind of guy. Complete opposite to me. He plays tennis. And he has his world and I have mine. I don't want him in the gym at all. That's my space. But everyone's different. Everyone has their thing, and he has his tennis world, so that's fine.
Well, like I said, that's good working out, and even tennis players have to work out a little bit. Let him go to the gym every now and then. Sometimes he has to run around his legs, he has to hit those balls, and
He's the cardio guy, so
yeah,
yeah.
he's cardio buddy. Yeah. Well, like I said, cardio is important part because I know with most bodybuilders they do not like cardio because but it's a part, especially if you want to get bigger. But it's good for maintaining your heart. Like with
Oh,
me, with my knees, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, with my knees, I can't do too much on the stairmaster. I don't touch the stairmaster at all. I used to rotate with isolation bike, and
Yeah.
also I might do the treadmill. But sometimes there's days where I just I just can't take it. Yes, so folks, what we're gonna do is while we're talking with her, we're gonna jump into her social media for a bit and look at some stuff, and and you want to check her out. Her social media links are in the description of this live. So
Yes.
if you want to follow her, and support her path in the sport. But guys, and I tell this, and this is no offense to you, Charlotte. I tell this every time when I do interviews with you ladies because there's guys out there. They're weird guys. Guys, no D pics.
No, not
Stop it.
interested.
She got kids, man. She got a husband. Come on. I know when you see these ladies, they're pumped, they're shredded, they're in condition. You get that little tickle in your pickle. But guys, come on.
No, not
Please.
interested. Seriously,
Mm-mm.
honestly, if you slide into my DMs and you want to send stuff like that, blocked. See ya. Like,
Yeah.
not interested. It is a fitness page. You can appreciate the human form for what it is, for the dedication for what it is. But as soon as it turns into something more, then no, sorry. See you later. No.
Yeah, just like,
Not
don't want to
interested.
see your don't want to see your Tom Thumb. Don't want to see
No,
that.
oh,
So here is, you got some pictures here. And this is I think this is from when you were at the
that one's for nationals for IFBB.
yeah, yeah, and you were figure right here, and you look pretty good.
Yes.
I mean, good conditioning. What was the critique from the judges? What they tell you?
Well, for a first timer, they said my condition was fantastic. It was phenomenal for the well, yeah, like my condition was outstanding. And they said for the figure category, I was actually too conditioned. They wanted, they said, if I'm going to stay in figure, as you can see, look at my legs there. If I want to stay in figure, yeah, like that one. If I want to stay in figure, I have to be a lot fuller. Yeah, that's what I used to look like. Crikeys, yeah. And that's the journey to losing weight. But if I wanted to move into, if I wanted to move into physique, I certainly can bring on the condition, and then I have to grow in size. So what I'm actually doing now with my coach Mike is we're not rushing to step on stage next season. We're going to have a prop. That's Mike there. G'day, Mike. Shout out to Mike. We are going to do a proper build, for at least 2 years. Yeah, that's Mike there. Yeah. Phenomenal guy. Absolutely. And that's his wife, T. She'll be really embarrassed that you put that up there. He's a family guy. I digress here for a moment. I just want to talk about Mike. He is a family guy. He's got kids. He was overweight himself. And then he got into bodybuilding to lose weight, and then he's competed. He's now an IFBB pro, and he stepped on stage in America and did very well. And he's about to step on stage again in I think 8 weeks or so, and I went with him because I resonated with him with all those things. I was overweight, he was overweight. He got into the gym to lose weight, so did I. And through consistency and hard work, he got to where he wanted to get to. So, and I have those dreams and beliefs as well. Oh my God, what's that one?
I think this is from.
Oh, I can't remember. Oh wow! Oh yeah, wow! This is
same show.
Same
show, and this is like, I think it's somebody must have recorded this for you.
Yeah, someone recorded it for me. So that was my individual, nervous as hell. But you know what? I think I did all right. I held my own, and the judges' feedback was very, very positive. But certainly, I need bigger delts if I'm going to remain in figure, and that's what I'm working on. And so, like I said, Mike and I, we're working. So I won't step on stage until 2026. So I'm going to have 2 full years of growing. And then we will, when we shred down and stuff, we'll see where we land, whether it be physique or figure. So, oh, look, there's Tracy. Beautiful Tracy.
Yeah, she is a wonderful lady.
That's when she got her pro card. Yeah.
I know Beth Francis was there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a legend. She's the one that really kind of changed the women's bodybuilding when she competed right about the good part of the 80s.
I look tiny compared to Trace there, but condition-wise, certainly, she's been training for physique, and I was my first time. She's been doing it for 10 years. So if you look at me in 10 years' time, hopefully I'll or sooner, I will be getting. That's my goal, is to get my pro card.
Yeah, like I said, it's about, this is what I learned about bodybuilding. It's not a race; it's a marathon.
Yeah,
I know ladies who got the pro cards and took 2 or 3 years off because they wanted to grow and develop. Some, like Tracy's a good example, who got the pro card and hit the ground running because they want the opportunity. Because sometimes you don't want to wait, and it's about the process. Because I said this often when I learned this while I was doing an interview with one lady. It's not about understanding the process; it's about trusting the process.
Yes.
And when you trust it, then you can understand it. Because not everybody can do what your competitors do. Like a legend, the great Ronnie Coleman says, like, everybody want to be a bodybuilder, but no one lift that heavy ass weight. And this is pictures here. This is like a before and after, and you can see that.
That's me in a build, and it was so uncomfortable. But you know what? I trusted my coach. I really put all my effort in psychologically, and I think that a lot of women don't grow because they're too afraid to put on the weight. And you can clearly see here, I can lose the weight. It's chipping away, being consistent, not cheating on your diet, because it will show. And that was, what was that one? Oh, that one's just for the gram. I basically, there is, I have done it twice, but also because I know how to lose the weight with data and exercise, and it's maths and science, and it can be done. So when you're first sort of starting out in the gym, or you're not quite sure, 80% of it is nutrition, 20% is exercise and moving your body. So learning about that, that one's actually, that one there. That's with Brett. He's one of the IFBB. He's the head judge, and I highly recommend you go to the workshops because they give you feedback and you listen to the feedback. There are workshops. I'm not sure about the States. That was, that's with Beck. So I competed with Beck on the day. She's a phenomenal girl. And you get to know people in the community from other states. So yeah, I totally, it's a lifestyle that if I saw myself 5 years ago, and I see myself now, and even just looking at these photos that I put on Instagram that I forget about, I just think, holy cow, who is that? But it's certainly, it's brought out my confidence, not just, it's about being strong and healthy. my Instagram, if you go right through it, there's no T's and A's in there. It's just healthiness, strongness, and authentically me. I'm certainly there's no tits and ass shots in there at all. Nothing at all.
Well,
Well, I was going to say,
here's the thing about guys who are into female bodybuilders. We don't need too much tits ass. It's about your physique. And like I said, one thing is, it's an old smoke saying I heard a long time ago. This is when I was young. I was in bodybuilding for a long time. And I remember when I first got online, it was like first thing, my first chat room. It was a bodybuilding fetish fan chat room. And I remember this guy, he was talking with me and said, I said, he was like asking me, my first time here. I said, yeah. I said, hey kid, welcome. It's first time here. I said, well, you know what the say? I said, what's the say? I said, when these ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard. And like I said, yes, I think some women, when it comes to the popular division right now is bikini and wellness, because they are the TNA divisions. They're the ones that get a lot more attention because they're more aesthetically pleasing in the mindset of the higher ups, and also they do work hard, but not as hard in like women figure and physique and bodybuilding or fitness, which is probably one of the hardest division around.
You've got to do cartwheels and all sorts of shit. They actually don't have that category in Australia. They only have physique, which is what Tracy was doing. So, but I think they're looking at introducing that down the track. But certainly bikini is very popular with the young ones. My body looked like that when I was 19 too. So, but then you've got the Olympia bikini, which looks completely different, and that's years and years and years of training and things like that. But I've got friends in the wellness category, and they work damn hard to get the physiques that they do, and it's theirs is kind of hard because they've got to have the low body musculature, but then the smaller upper body. They can't be too big upper body. So for me, I just love getting in the gym and being muscular from head to toe. So that's why I fit the figure category. But if I want to grow, which is what I'm doing right now, potentially in 2 years' time, get into physique and follow Tracy's footsteps. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. We got a comment from Dallas Adams says, what exercise you like to do? Yeah. What is your favorite exercise? And an exercise says, damn, I don't want to do it today. That's just that one. You just like,
That's a tough one because, oh gosh, I'll tell you a story. When I was overweight, someone made the comment, I was waving goodbye to somebody, and someone said, oh my God, your arms are waving 10 minutes later. And I was like, because I had, really floppy arms because I was overweight. So then that made me really, really self-conscious. So I would wave with my arm next to my body to ensure that I wasn't flapping around in the breeze. So the one exercise I wanted to do was I wanted to have guns. I wanted to have, Sarah Connor, Terminator kind of guns. That was the one thing. And just to give B-Strap another little plug, I have used them through my rehab and whatever. And as you see, there are some videos if you look through B-Strap and stuff. I have created the best arms I've ever had through that gym accessory. And for them to now sponsor me is, just an absolute dream. But that's one thing I did was consistency, was just absolute. I wanted to have that salmon steak, arms. I've got some decent arms now. I've just got to build up the delts to do that. So I do love training arms. And what I used to hate was legs, but I'm learning to train legs.
What bodybuilder doesn't like legs? I interviewed four IB pros that said they love legs, and I say, you are a freak, you're a mutant. You like legs.
Yeah. So now I like today after this interview, it's leg day today. So I am literally carving up before I go and train, because I've got the hack squat, which is the Cybex, so I can get right down ass to grass, and just it's that mindset of, oh my God, this is just going to fry my legs. And lunges. I like doing lunges with dumbbells because again, it's psychological. Your body is screaming to say stop, 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 but your mind is saying, you know, the classic quote, the mind leads, the body follows. So if you can control the mind, the rest is easy.
Yeah. Well, I know. Remember the lady who I talked to last? She's a Bulgarian physique competitor. She on the pro card about a couple of years ago, and she was telling me how she does Bulgarian squats, the squats,
Yes.
and she was doing it with Yishna, the wellness girl, and it was like she said like you have the Bulgarian with the Puerto Rican. I think she's Puerto Rican, and they're doing Bulgarian squats. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that is kind of killer. Here we got here from a man. Lauren says, make sure you lean and understand world of fitness and learn. Learn the understand the world of fitness and educate to save life. So everyone always be respectful. Yeah, thank you. And also, this is from my man Davros. He says, "That's amazing, Charlotte." Yeah, I know. Like, and also you said you're a nurse, and how long you been a nurse?
Oh gosh, 20 something years, you know. But I was in the corporate world before I got into nursing. So, but honestly, absolutely love it. So I've done everything from general, surgical, ED, and then yeah, I've been in theatre for the last 10 years or so. Did scrub scout, bit of anaesthetics, but now I work in recovery where you actually wake up. So I hand out, you know, pain medication to those that need it, and then send them on their way, and then do a little bit of tea relief, you know, in theatres. So you know, fly by night sort of thing. So I do a bit of both, but I've worked in the private system and the public system here in Australia, and absolutely love it. It's a great vocation. But I'm now working in a private hospital where it's Monday to Friday, so I've got every weekend off, which is great. And I don't do on call, so I'm not getting called out at 3 o'clock in the morning like I used to. So yeah, and educating the younger ones. So I'm a preceptor. I'm not sure what you call in the States, but where you educate the student nurses and the grad nurses. So I do a bit of that as well.
Yeah. I know that while I was researching you, there was a little situation about freezing your pay or so what it was.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
In Australia, I'm not sure how it is in America, how the nurses get paid. So we have a national registration, which is great. But in Australia, each state is paid differently depending on what state you live in. So, for example, Queensland, they are the highest paid nurses in Australia. I live in New South Wales now, and we get paid less. And so with this is going to get a bit political, but the enterprise bargaining agreement, as they run out, you know, we are actually the lowest paid at the moment. So New South Wales is negotiating our enterprise bargaining agreement. But yeah, so they had I was the president of the nurses union a few years back, and they had a wage freeze, and this was right when COVID happened. And honestly, we're still fighting for it. You know, we bust our guts to look after the community and don't get paid very well for it. But again, very political, not here to say political stuff, but I love my job. And but there's a few things up the sleeve for Charlotte in 2024 coming into 2025. So I've got a business that I'll be launching towards the end of this year, an online business for apparel, accessories, but I won't say too much because very excited. It's got the prototypes. And then I did my nutrition course a couple of years ago just because I wanted to learn about nutrition. And then I've almost finished my PT course because I've had a lot of people come to me and say, look, Charlotte, we would love it if you were a PT. And I would like to do it maybe part time. I don't know whether it would transition into full time. I'm not 100% sure, but the goalposts are forever moving for me, and I'm actually excited to. I can say here now that I will be doing some face-to-face PTing to start with. I'm not going to jump straight into the online business world. That's for some people. I just want to do the face-to-face at my local gym, World Gym, here in Albury. So that will be towards the end of the year, is when I will be opening up my books to be a PT here in Australia.
That's good. That you find something else, because I know with a lot of people, especially in the bodybuilding world, they usually stick with fitness, and because it's so close to what they know and what they understand about health and wellness. And as a nurse, I will say to you, thank you for your service. I know I've known I've interviewed some ladies who are competitors who also are nurses. It's a full-time job. It's a tough job. I remember when I took care of my mom. My mom, she caught the virus um the year when it first hit, and she was 80 years old, and she already had a bunch of other serious stuff. She had like several seizures. She was going through early stages of dementia. She was diabetic,
Yeah,
and it take like I said, she was in the hospital for about a couple of weeks before she passed. And
yeah,
it kind of broke my heart, because she was she was like as a boy, our mothers is our woman. That's the first woman we ever love. You can always get another wife, you can always get a girlfriend, but you only have one mom. And
yeah,
I love my mom. My father, he passed away 10 years ago. We wasn't as close, but he was still my father. I miss him. I missed them both terribly. And you know you should be paid, especially for work you put in, because what people do. The doctors are there just say, hey, just like this and that. It's the nurses that really take care of the patients, because
we're at ground
and
zero, and especially going through COVID, it was terrifying. I'll be honest. COVID part, Mark One, when nobody knew how bad it was actually going to be. We're double like hazmat suits, and being told at one stage you might not be able to go home. You might have to sleep at the hospital for 2 weeks, and they had no idea, and patients with COVID in ICU and dying in ICU. I mean, it was very real. It was very, very real and very, very terrifying. I must say, and I think that's also because that was part of my, as I was changing my life as well at the same time, and going to the gym. And I think again, coming back to the gym, that was a grounding place for me, because I was in a very highly stressful job, and trying to keep it all together mentally when all of that was going around. The gym was a fantastic, safe place for me. And then when the gyms closed down, I had to sort of practice. I had a resistance band. I raced to Kmart to get 2 kilo dumbbells, because that's all there was there, because everyone else was buying shit there as well. And then I had an apparatus that I stuck in the door frame. And so I used a piano stool as a bench, whatever I could use. And I did I don't know how many push-ups, like military push-ups, and going back to basics and stuff. And that's what got me going through COVID. And then probably made me stronger mentally. But so when gyms opened up again, bringing all that sort of discipline back into what I am now, much stronger, much calmer, and it's a ripple effect. You have that discipline in yourself, then you can share it amongst others in a positive way. And again, so I hope when I do open up my books for PTing, that I can share that ripple effect with mums in their mums. That's sort of the target area that I'm looking for, is mums that want to get their lives back. And reclaim their life, because I've been through it. I've been through menopause as well. I understand it. It's not out of a textbook. I've lived it. I'm looking forward to doing that. But more importantly, I'm looking forward to, even though it's in 2 years' time, it's going to fly by. And before you know it, I'll be back on stage bigger and better than ever, which I'm very, very excited for.
It's good. You should take the time just to rest and to grow. I know what judges, like I said, with the visions, like when physique came out, it was supposed to be replacing women's bodybuilding. I talked about this. I wasn't a big fan of it because I was always a diehard women's bodybuilding fan. But doing this content, talking to ladies like yourself who do divisions like women's bodybuilding, figure, and physique. I mean, I learned something where it's a lot of work. But like I said, I think like I said, that's why they had you to double dip because it's so close. I've seen girls in figure, and I've known some women who have competed in national shows. One lady I interviewed, she was doing wellness and she did figure. I know a
Yes.
lady who did physique and did figure. I've seen ladies who did bodybuilding and figure. It's so easy to cross over in
Yeah, I'm
amateur.
on the cusp between the two categories. So yeah, certainly in 2 years' time you'll see where I fall. But I, honestly, if I had known what I know now, I probably would have done both. But I would have certainly prepared for physique and done a performance. So it would have enjoyed that a bit more. But honestly, it's a tough sport. Sometimes can be a lonely sport because people don't understand you because you're so dedicated to it. But the people that are in the industry, they get you. And people such as yourself, you admire us and want to share what we have and what we have to offer. But it's a great environment. It's even for the Gen Pop environment, just to get moving, and it's a fantastic way to stay healthy and but also meet some great people, like-minded people, and share your knowledge and then there's about 3 girls in my gym now. They're prepping for a show, and I get excited because they're prepping for a show. And they come and ask me, how did you feel, and what sort of da da da, and so we have a little chat about that. So I'm kind of like the gym mum, got my arms around these girls that are standing on stage in season B and season C in Australia, because I've done it for them, and we're all here to help each other out. So again, great community in our local gym, and I'm all for it. And for those that are interested, that have just been watching, that have never done anything, feel free to send me a DM, and happy to help.
Yeah, because I think it's good that you're out there. You're being a mom. You just that motherly thing you do, especially the young ones saying like, this is she may not be my birth mother, but she's my gym mom. And I know,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think I know some parents that they do need a support because sometimes families don't understand it. I know, like your kids they can't accept it, your husband can't accept it, but then friends they might not say, hey, Charlotte, we're going to the pub, but you can't go to the pub. You have to rest because you want to get up in the morning.
I gave up alcohol 5.5 years ago when I decided that alcohol had empty calories. The light bulb switched, and it's not like I can't have a drink. So my daughter's 18th birthday, who's at uni now, nearly 20, I had a glass of champagne. It's not like I couldn't. I chose to, but I just choose not to drink because I'd much rather eat food. So your priorities change. I drank in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. It's not part of my lifestyle now, and to be honest, I don't miss it. I can still go out to the pub with friends. I just drink water.
Yeah. I never been a drinker. I used to work. I used to work at a club. Well, I didn't drink like that. I sipped every now and then, but I never been a drinker. I like food, but I like a little too much. And it's about the food is an important process about it because people. This is the mindset of everybody outside of sport. We talked about this earlier. How everybody thinking steroids, steroids, steroids. It's only a small factor. It's for like rest and recovery, for your body. But because everybody looks at this as okay, it's be all. But there's guys out there who takes that stuff and still don't compare it to guys who actually put in the work, train, follow their diet, and eat and rest and recover and everything that's involved with it. We got here my man Kale the Wanderer. It says, he says, is she a pro yet? Not,
No,
no, not a pro, not yet. Also, he asks, he
one
says,
day.
yeah, what division she's in. Sorry, I'm late.
Oh, okay.
She,
So Figure. So have a look on my Instagram page. So Figure is the one that I just debuted in, and also did Physique as well. But also for the PCA, it's slightly different. They had figure, toned, athletic, and trained. And I trained is the conditioning, the hardcore. So I entered in that category for figure trained, and I won that one. So and the judges' feedback from PCA was they hadn't seen someone in my condition, like excellent condition, in a very, very long time. So you know, it just goes to show you can be a late bloomer, but if you're a hard worker, you can totally blitz the field and come in, and people are like, where the hell's she come from? She hasn't been on the bodybuilding scene ever. We've never seen her before. So, you know, the fact that I'm 50, but my first season, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm very, very excited for where I'm headed and what I can show.
Mm-hmm. Also, he says, do you have a free workout? We mentioned it. You can watch it again if you
Yeah.
missed it.
Yeah.
Also, he says this. He says, what part of Australia you are in, and are you acquainted by other women bodybuilders? Like you said, she's in South Wales. If you want to, know
Yeah,
that,
New
because
South Wales. So I used to live in Queensland. I used to live on the Gold Coast, which is sort of like the fitness mecca of bodybuilding fitness. There's a lot that come out of the Gold Coast and Queensland. Just because there's beautiful beaches, warm weather. Everyone's in the fitness industry there. But now I live in a place called Albury in New South Wales, which is halfway between Sydney and Melbourne. And my coach, Mike, is from Melbourne, and there's some amazing gyms in Melbourne. Melbourne's actually, almost the mecca for massive gyms. And there's Doherty's gym down there, owned by Tony Doherty, and an amazing gym down there. And he's very much the big promoter for IFBB in Australia. If you ever get a chance to come to Australia, certainly come down to Melbourne and go and visit Doherty's gym. And there's some amazing gyms, absolutely. They're all popping up all around Australia, these huge, incredible gyms with excellent equipment that makes your eyes pop when you come through. But yeah, so where I live is country, Australia, halfway between Sydney and Melbourne.
Yeah. He also asks, he says, are you familiar with Renee Archer? I don't know. He he asked a lot of questions.
I know who Renee is. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and it's a lot to do this sport. The time you got to take, and you got to find the time. You got your job. You got your kids are pretty much grown now, but you still got your husband. And I know
the other one's still at school, and I still tap into my daughter. My one from uni, she actually came down. She's about 5.5 hours away where her university is. She just popped in for the weekend, which was beautiful. We had a nice family weekend because we obviously don't get to see her when we can. But it's all about time management. Time's going to pass anyway, and you can either sit on the couch watching Netflix and a packet of Doritos, or you can go and spend an hour at the gym. So it's all about perspective and what you want to do in life. I don't judge. I'm just doing this for me, and hope that I can, motivate and inspire others to do the same.
Yeah, and like I said, if you talk about food, as every bodybuilder does, they have their a little passion. Like they have those those particular things that they like. Those things that sometimes they can either make you stronger or make you a stranger. And where's that thing that last time you after at the stage that you wanted? That's something that was, it was just in the back of your head you wanted the most. What was that?
So
tell me.
During prep, I was fairly lucky in that my coach and I, he customized food for me that I honestly didn't really miss out on anything. I was eating everything that I enjoyed, so it wasn't a chore for me. I look forward to my food, but as you diet down, you look forward to any food. But when I did finish competing at nationals, there's this fantastic company. Well, there's a couple actually. There's chocolate. They make these amazing ridiculous slices. So shout out to Nick for that. And Cookies by Tea, shout out to her. She gave hand delivered, and it's actually on my Instagram. Hand delivered a box of these filled cookies, and when I finished my show, I messaged my coach, what can I eat? Because he was in the state down in the show watching other bodybuilders. So he sent me a message back, and he goes, "Eat damn cookie." So I went back to my suitcase, and I didn't go gorge or anything. I just had one, because another thing Mike said, food will always be there. So I didn't gorge or anything. I just had one cookie. And I've shared the rest of those cookies and the slices and stuff with other people. So I didn't go ballistic, because even that night I did go and have a grilled burger with family and friends. I actually felt like my steak and rice. There comes a point in time where you're not craving those sweet, sugary things, but it was nice to have a treat. Big shout out to Chocolate and Cookies by Tea. So they are phenomenal. Again, the best in Melbourne, the best in Australia that I have ever eaten. And, in my build as well, I actually have a sneaky little delivery coming today or tomorrow from Cookies by Tea down in Melbourne. And I'm yet to inform my coach about that. So, but I am allowed 1,000 calories, extra 1,000 calories on a Friday. So I might include that on Friday to have one of those cookie-filled delights. But again, you can stick them in the freezer and you can have them any time. So that's good.
Yeah, it be calling your name sometimes, And think about when your kids were still younger, you had to cook something different, because they weren't going to eat what you're going to eat, because they rather have whatever opposite of what you're going to eat. Like, you're not in the mood for dried chicken and broccoli and and asparagus. They rather have some mac and cheese or some chicken tenders.
Cheese. Oh my God, she should live in America.
What little kid don't want
them? Cheese. I don't know. I'm like, I don't eat it. She loves mac and cheese. She'll kill me for saying that. But she look. They're kids. They're young. They're growing. They can eat whatever their dad will please. So I'm not restricting into anything. And again, it's only there in the pantry or the fridge if you buy it. So it's not like, oh my God, it's not my fault or anything, but you've consciously gone and bought it. So, there is chocolate. Even right through my prep, I was eating chocolate. So again, there's no good or bad food. It's just how much you eat, really, at the end of the day. So I was eating chocolate every day right through my prep, right through my prep. I kid you not, albeit it was only 20 grams, but I never went without. And I think that's the important when you are competing, but also in day-to-day life, there is no good or bad food. And learning about food, I think, is really important. We live in a society where we have computers and everything is on tap. If I can offer any advice to anyone, is to learn about food. Learn about what goes in, what goes out. If you want to lose weight, great. Lose by learning. Have a look at what you're eating. Don't. What I said to someone the other day was, as soon as you say you're on a diet, you're doomed for failure, because the word diet sets you up for restriction and going without. So if you can change your mindset by saying, I'm looking at nutritional ideas, and you can go, okay, I want chocolate, I like cheese, I like bread, I like steak, I like rice, I like to have a milkshake or whatever. I can actually make cupcakes out of cream of rice, and guilt-free. So it's learning about being creative, learning about what you can and how, but also moving for a day. A lot of people say they haven't got time to go for an hour's walk. So I say, fine, walk 15 minutes in one direction in the mornings. You've got to turn around and walk home again. So that's another 15 minutes. There's your half an hour in the morning. do the same thing at night time. So psychologically, you're only walking for 15 minutes, but you're doing it 4 times a day. Easy. So there's your hour's walk. Can be done, can be achievable. So these are the types of things that I'm going to be teaching women or men, if the men are interested in being trained by me, into how to change their mindset for everyday life. And anything's achievable if you just stay consistent. You can still enjoy your life, like eat chocolate every day. But yeah, these are the things that I'm going to be bringing out in my programming towards the end of the year. It will be sort of around Christmas time.
Okay, this is from KO says moderation is very important with nutrition.
Absolutely.
Also, he says, do you focus on macros? You know, or are you like one of those things like
Yeah.
you can't?
Well, at the moment, I do, because I'm in a build. So everything is about maths and science and data. So I love data. So I'm going to be building strategically for that. So yes, I do look at my macros. I look at my carbs, my fats, and my proteins. And my carbs and my fats and proteins are going to be different to the next person. And as it should be, because we are all individuals, but yeah, in short answer, yes, I do look at my macros.
Mm-hmm. We have he also he says, yeah, I walk when I can, mostly through the park. Well, I try to walk every time, but not as much because, like I said, I got 2 bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, I like sometimes I might walk to my sister's house every now and then because I might want to borrow a car and do some stuff, but most of the time I'm a homebody. If I can avoid to, I was going to Planet Fitness. It's like the next town over. And then my car broke down and then I had a setback. But you just have to have the mentality. Like I said, I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder, but I'm trying to do a little
No,
smarter.
I never set out to be a bodybuilder either. Like, I honestly, that just sort of morphed over time. And if bodybuilding shows stopped for me today, that's okay. I still have changed my life in being strong and healthy, and that to me is for longevity, and that is way more important to me than a bodybuilding show will ever be. The bodybuilding shows are just the cherry on top, really. So, certainly, even when the gyms were closed and all I could do, we were allowed to, I don't know, in the States, we were allowed to go for an hour's walk a day. We're allowed outside for an hour or something. It was like prison, but at home. That to me, that was the one thing I look forward to, was going outside and just walking around the block. You weren't allowed to walk with anyone. And then they introduced that you're allowed to walk with one friend, but you had to be a metre apart. It's stupid shit like that. But I don't know how bad it was in America, but these are the silly things that they introduced in
Well,
Australia.
here in America, we have some kind of like it was like supposed to be this like 6 feet from some behind if you're in a line.
Yeah,
Also, the mask mandates. And the thing is that sometimes when we have something like this happens, the demands of the majority outweighs the wants of the few.
yeah,
And when you don't know, this is something which it just hit hard, and no one know what to do with it. I
yeah,
mean, pandemics don't come as often, and that's why you step back and let the people who understand it see what they can figure it out. It takes time. I know people were talking about I don't want to get vaccinated, but then it's not bad because you work in the hospital system. It's something that you might need. There was polio. There was things like they were talking about how they compared it to the Spanish flu that was 100 years ago. It's just those things happen, and you have to be prepared for them. And if you don't understand it, that's why you listen to people understand. Don't listen to people talk about where you can do this, do that. But let me ask you, are you a doctor? Are you educated? Or are you just talking out your ass? That's the big difference because so many people would do that. And then in the long run, when things you gotta give it time. You can't. I got a friend says like we're going back. Like we can't help. Everything's going back. You can't never go back when something
no,
happens like this, especially two things that changes societies: wars, pestilence, and those things happens and it changed society. Like a lot of people doing more online stuff
mm,
is because schools and here in the country, people couldn't work in a lot of certain jobs, especially like fast food places. They were closed down. Some places you can only do takeout.
I think that's why Uber Eats exploded, because people, and it's still going strong here in Australia. I don't know about the States, but DoorDash and Uber Eats and whatever they have over there as well. But yeah, it's just everything's accessible to your door now. And also online shopping went berserk. And I think that's why Instagram blew up as well, because everyone was at home, scrolling through their pages.
I know. Like one thing you do, like you post a lot of like I was like earlier before we started, I was like going through my IG, and it showed an old GI Joe, promo, like when it comes out like GI Joe. They're doing a
Yeah,
lot of stuff back in the day. As myself, like we're the same age group. We're Gen X, and
yeah.
and I used to remember before I go to school, watch cartoons till the bus come, then get off
Yeah.
to school, and then watch cartoons again. I mean, this is one thing. One thing got me bodybuilding because I grew up in an era with He-Man and Thundercats, and
Yes,
then and that
I loved He-Man and She-Ra,
yeah,
Princess of
yeah,
Power.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it was just those are like that. When you get up on Saturday morning, it's news. I know why I need it. I don't need to say, damn, what the hell? I see stuff through the week. Why I need to see it on Saturday morning? I don't want to be education, but we get enough education. That's just shop parents entertain me. But we ain't here for a man. He says, George, do you soak your knees with warm water? I don't know if that. I, I had to put in my whole body on soak my knees with warm water, brother. I mean, I'm a big dude. It's hard to get into the right place. So, and also, they got a lot of Uber Eats people on bikes to deliver. Well,
Yeah,
where I live, we don't do Uber Eats because I live in a very small town. We have
yeah,
one stoplight. We have a couple of gas stations, and we have what we have here in the States. We have two little stores called Family Dollar and Dollar General, and a little grocery store. We just don't, like out here in this is really country for us. You know, we we don't have that. You have to go to the store, and like I
right.
said, we don't have public transportation. If you don't have a car, you either walking or you thumbing it. It's about traveling. And then, like I said again, social media is popular. That's why a lot of women get there on there because it's a way to get attention. If you saw just a few days ago, a social media influencer, she got busted for some shit she was
Yes,
doing.
I did see
Yeah,
that.
I talked about that on my channel because the fact is because she
Yeah,
fits
yeah,
within parameters of what I do. I talk about bodybuilding and also do commentary on women in mixed martial arts like combat sports, MMA, boxing, and she's in both those worlds. And I had to talk about it. I don't talk to this is my channel. I talk more about you ladies because y'all deserve the recognition. Because the fact is, everybody's going to talk about the men because they're this is how I call the men's division. Yeah, it's the bottom bitch in the pimping game. It's the one that gets the promoters. They're bringing the money, and
yeah.
and now you get the division like wellness and bikini. But you women in bodybuilding, figure, physique, you need to
There's no
recognize it.
money. There is no money in it. Honestly, and that's where sponsorship does come in handy because you are literally saving your money whilst you are in your build phase, so that when it does come time to do competitions, like I said, the tan, the makeup, the jewelry, the bikini, the heels, the posing lessons, the VIP training with your coach, the gym membership, the list goes on and on and on. Same with any sport, snow skiing, that's an expensive sport. Golf, tennis, or if you want to play the piano or anything in life that you want to have a passion around costs money. So certainly if you do get sponsored, B-Strap, there you go, plug out to B-Strap. Nice little plug there. But it helps, but it's not your full-time job. So in Australia, there are no bodybuilders that's what they do, as in appearances and things like that. There's no money in it. So most of us, we all have our daytime jobs, or they are online coaches and things like that. That's the industry that they're in. But the rest of us, nurses, teachers, police, council worker, truck driver, whatever. That's our day job, and the bodybuilding industry. That's our love and our hobby, and we do it because we love it. It's certainly not a chore. It's something that I love to do, and I get excited every time I wake up in the morning, knowing that I'm going to train. So there we are.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one thing bodybuilding shoots as amateur, you're not gonna get much money because you're paying to compete. And then, like we talk about before, it's a poor man's sport. You put more money into it to get out of it.
Look at
But
the
with
tennis
some,
players, how much money the tennis players get and the golfers, and let alone the basketballers or whatever gazillion dollars they earn. There is definitely not that much money in bodybuilding at all. It's definitely for the love of the sport.
yeah, because I know, ladies, you gotta love the sport. You do this, and but with some women, especially some men, there is that fetish about it because people don't understand that what draws guys to women with muscle. Same thing that draw guys to men with muscle. There's a fetish about it. There's like sites on there, like some women do OnlyFans. There's other sites. I call them. Excuse my French, man. I call them the beat the meat websites. That's what they are. We know that.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
don't avoid any of it. Guys do find it uh, attractive, but your mother, you got a husband. It's not something you want to do, but it's good that you found something that you're striving for. That's
Yeah,
outside of within the rim, but also outside the rim of bodybuilding. I mean, if bodybuilding was more like one thing, I keep talking about this. When you are competing as a bodybuilder, especially when you get to that pro level, you pay $300 a year to keep up your pro card. Then if you're lucky enough, you get sponsorship, like you have sponsorship. But then, if this was like any other sport where, okay, you're paid to compete, where, you don't have to, you don't need to work as a nurse. You just do a show, you get a good chunk of change.
fantastic. That
Yeah.
would be. I would love that. If anyone out there wants to pay me just so I can put stuff on YouTube and whatever, just for fitness, I'm all for it.
Yeah. And then, like I said again, this is like if there was more opportunities, especially for the women.
Yeah,
People, this is like when I do this,
without
I've talked to
showing
ladies.
these days.
Yeah, and when I talk to women, they say like people that be like there be guys like posting stuff like, yeah, she's trying to be a man, yeah, 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 yada yada, and then
Guy that I watch, he's quite funny, and he outs people that write terrible comments on women. I can't remember his name, but yeah, yeah, just because we lift heavy weights, I don't know. It's a tall poppy syndrome. They either can't lift as heavy as us, so they have to belittle us and put us down. But at the end of the day, I'm more mature enough to not let that affect me. I'm just like, that's just your humble opinion. That's not going to stop me from doing what I love. So whatever, delete.
yeah, yeah, and then sometimes that same guy be talking junk and say like, like, oh Charlotte, I like your body, I just yada 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 yada, because they don't want your friends to say like it's like this. It's like a guy who's dating this ugly chick, and she's nice, you like her, but you don't want your friends to know that you're dating her. So so no, I'm not dating her. No, no, but that's how it is sometimes. He would get comments from my man KL. He says, any, I'm trying to ask you, did you ever try to do holistic training? You ever try that, or holistic training?
Holistic, as in like calisthenics, or
I no, I figure like healthy, something natural. I don't know. It's just something he knows about. I don't really,
oh,
I know some competitors who are
okay. So
vegan.
certainly along the way with my fitness journey, learning to love myself was the biggest thing. Was when I was overweight, I didn't love myself. And if you can't love yourself, then how do you love those around you? And I think that was a really important lesson for myself in the beginning, and something that I still practice every day. I don't stand in front of the mirror and go, "Oh, I love you. I think you're wonderful." I don't do any of that shit. Don't get me wrong, but I have learned to love the skin that I'm in. It's a 50-year-old skin. It's seen a lot. It's done a lot, and slowing down and being comfortable. I've done a lot. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Sometimes I just listen to go up to the top of the hill and watch the sunrise and just listen to the birds as the day starts, and appreciate the day for what it is, and certainly have gratitude for the positive things that we have in life. We're hit down with diseases and cancers and things like that, and there's some tragedies that we have in the world, and what's going on around in the world. So I just appreciate every day for what it is. So whether that's a holistic approach, I'm not quite sure, but certainly my perspective on life and appreciation for life has changed very much for
Yeah,
the better.
he goes like this. I'm asking George about holistic healing. I don't know about that shit, so don't worry, you're asking me. Yes, the wrong person. Yeah,
Yeah, see,
I'm a country boy from the South. We don't know that about that whole list of stuff, man. All we know about if like back in the day when some guy said your mama said put a little Vic salve on your chest and lay
oh
down
yeah,
and be all right. You know,
yeah,
that was holistic for us. We couldn't afford a doctor. That's how you used to do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Also says I could share your content on my YouTube channel if you want. And that's good. That helps out because we want to spread out the love. Also, bodybuilding is a sport of hardships. That how I see it. And
Yeah.
yeah, and that's good that you understand the sport, you have a passion for it, and you have sponsors.
Yes,
Yeah,
sponsors.
yeah. He says, he says, he says, you know, he tells me this
Well,
says
not enough to give
research.
up my day job or anything,
Yeah,
but
says
it helps.
he told me research MF, and I don't always have time to research. I'm busy. I got things I got to do. So I do it in my time. So you research a holistic. You take care of you. I take care of me. So
Yeah, yeah,
but like I said, this is the thing is that it's good that you have sponsorship to have it because I know there'll be guys out there saying, "Hey, Charlotte, I seen you, yeah, nice, tight, little, cute, little down the chick. If I do something for you, will you say no, 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 guys? No, no,
no,
no, guys,
no.
no, no.
Honestly, to be quite honest, I get a lot of DMs, and a lot of them are just, not appropriate.
Yeah,
But then there are genuine ones. You do sift through the wheat from the chaff, and that comes with having a public account. My account is not private; it is open to the world, because I've got nothing to hide either. So I am who I am. My Instagram account has grown organically, and I chat openly with my followers. So, but if those that want to be inappropriate, go to Snapchat, go to Tinder. That's what that's for. That's not what my Instagram account is about. So,
yeah. Because I'm like this when I'm talking to some lady, they tell me, yeah, these guys out there are just. But this is what genuine people who are interested says, Miss Todros. We would love to sponsor you. We like your personality. We like who you are. If you're interested in our product and you want to be a spokesperson for us, just let us know. This is sponsorship does help, and you got to find, and you have to be something that somebody. I know one lady said that if I want to be sponsored, have something I know I'm going to use. It helps me
well,
in
I
my
use
process.
everything that I'm sponsored with. So, the B strap, the accessories, you see them in my stories, you see them on my posts. I have been using. I especially use B strap through my shoulder reconstruction rehab phase, and I still use it to this day to build my arms as well. So I actually used the product before I became sponsored by B strap. Again, with the cream of rice, I used it, I bought it, and I used to just put it on my stories and tag people before I became sponsored by them. And and now I got signed up with Primabolics. Again, I used to go into the sub store or buy it online, depending which was quicker. If they had it out of stock in the sub store, I'd buy it online, vice versa. So everything that I share and everything that I'm actually sponsored is from products that I've actually used. So they're tried and true by me, and I only promote things that I believe in and that I use and that I love. And these are my recommendations, basically, for me and also for those that are also around me. And there's millions of other products and things out there. There's, lots and lots of subs that are just as good, but they're not ones I use. But these are the ones that I use. So, but yeah, again, all organic, and things that I believe in.
Well, here come here from my man KL1 said that's normal for women in the inappropriate DMs. Yeah, it should be norm.
It's not it shouldn't be the norm. Can I say
Yeah,
that now?
yeah.
Like I said, it's not Tinder. It's not whatever those platforms are. I don't know because I don't have any of those platforms. And people think that it's okay to slide into your DMs and hey, how's it going, whatever. And at first, you're nice and polite, and then it goes south really quickly. You just delete them. So again, if I can put a message out there, if you think you want to be that kind of person and come into my DMs, don't even bother. If you want to follow me, have a nice conversation and be open and honest, fine. That's what I'm happy to share, but certainly no, not
Yeah,
interested. Later.
yeah.
And it
When I say
should not be normal, and especially for the young women out there, they shouldn't normalize it because it's not normal.
yeah, it's not because when I say something like I know some ladies are like I try to keep in contact with the ladies I've done interviews with, and I've gotten some friendships, and I have some like I might send something like every so often I fix a little like little affirmations to say, hey, you're doing good. This is something because I know sometimes yeah, because sometimes this sport can get to you mentally, physically, also the financial part. And then I know some ladies. I remember one time there was one lady. We were really cool. We sat and just talked an hour about stuff. We were on the phone just talking, and she was just talking about stuff. I was talking about stuff, and sometimes it's just those little things help. We have somebody just to share your thoughts and also this is it's a lot to the sport. And I know you might have family and friends, but sometimes it's good to hear someone else's voice and get their critique of it or just to share your feelings and this is why I do this content because you like I said again, you ladies need a voice. You do. There's not enough people that talk about you. Like if I'm on YouTube, the algorithm is not as big for women's bodybuilding. I'm almost 2,000 subscribers right now on my YouTube channel. My IG is growing a little bit. I just recently got followed by a lady who I'm a fan of. She's a bodybuilder back in the day. I actually met her when I went to my first bodybuilding show at Savannah. That's Annie Urvicchio. She classic female bodybuilder from back in the day. She's multi-time Olympic competitor. She runs her own company called Muscle Angels, where they do photo sessions after the shows. And that's when, like I said, that's the time when some ladies try to make the money on the side because when you don't make the money in the top three part as a pro, you try to say, let me do a little photo session, make a little change because they pay you for that. But there's a lot of work to the sport, a lot of time you got to invest into it. And if people don't understand it, well, this is a quote from one of my favorite comedians that Bernie Mac says, "Fuck them." That's all I can do. Here we get here from a man, KL one. It says, sadly to say, it is they do it to me by sending inappropriate stuff or X-rated sites. Well, sometimes it's not just it's just weird people out there, and some people just don't got nothing else to do with their life. They just
Yeah, get a life. Get
yeah,
off
they
the
don't have a life.
go for a walk. I'd say.
Go for a walk. Go for a drink. Find yourself a woman. Something. Also, it says, "Wow, I seen your IG page, Charlotte. You did a total 360 with the before and the after
Yeah.
pictures. Yeah,
I think
and
come
yeah,
later in the interview, but yeah, and that's a big driver in how my Instagram started. My journey was to just share. It started off as said at the beginning was just my walking and stuff each day, and then it started to. I was so nervous of recording my gym stuff in the beginning. Now, and I just realised, and I do remember saying to me, someone saying to me, Charlotte, no one cares. And I was so nervous, so nervous, setting up my little phone in the corner of the gym and that. Whereas now I just set and forget and whatever, and people are like, oh, do you want me to hold your mobile phone? I'm like, no, it's all good, it's all good. And I just sit and forget. And now I'm the person that's saying to someone that's starting out, no one cares. Video yourself, even if you don't want to put it on Instagram, just for your own progress. You've got photos of where you started to your journey of where you're going. And it's amazing, what 12 months side by side photos can do, whether you're trying to lose weight or whether you're trying to increase muscle mass and going through building phases like the one you showed up here earlier of me going through a building phase to shredding down for a competition. Photos and videos are fantastic data and stuff, and it keeps you going. I know some people that are starting out on their fitness journey, and that's what they're doing. They're not posting or anything, but they're doing it for themselves, so they've got something to compare to. Because we have it in our memories, but to actually see a photograph of before and after is something quite phenomenal.
yeah. Well, folks, we do appreciate her time here. I know she's got to get ready. She's got to do cardio. So we're just delaying a little bit, but we can't delay the inevitable. Sometimes, like my man Rocky Balboa says, sometimes it's not that hard you can think you can hit. So it's hard to take the hits and keep moving forward. Rocky's inspirational for everybody, and yeah, because he just did what he did. he fought, he fight. You know, he says, Adrian, I'm a fighter. That's what I do. And you know, yeah,
Yeah.
Adrian, he meant cut me, man, cut me. And and I like this. This is where I enjoy talking to people like yourself, who are, as I said, who have your boots in the ground, 10 toes down, who's still in the trenches, who's still climbing up and getting to that level. Because you know what? Not everybody can. I know some ladies, like a lady who just passed, just last week, about a week or so ago. She competed for a long time as an amateur. Great physique, the late Trudy Island, beautiful physique, great look to her, but she never got a pro card. I know some ladies who competed for years for to get the pro card. I know ladies who did. I gave you one lady who she turned pro just last year, and she's planning to make her pro debut next year. But it was
Yep.
her first year as a competitor. She did one show, that was a regional show, got her national qualification, did nationals, and now she's a pro. You know,
Wow.
and the judges also, they have a lot of control. They like saying, like, we like this look, that look. You
And
know,
if they like that look on the day, and it happens to be their first show, then that's just the luck of the draw as well.
hmm yeah. This is from a man, KL. He says, how far do you see yourself in bodybuilding? You know,
Look, until I stop enjoying doing it, I would say, just like everything in life, you do everything that you're passionate about, and I'm passionate about bodybuilding. I feel good at the age of 50, and I have no intentions of stopping. And I think that's the wonderful thing about masters as well, is that there's no top end age gap, and I think there's a lot of women coming into bodybuilding later in life. Their children are growing up, they've got time for themselves again. So we do have that. We've done all that sort of living in our 20s, 30s, and 40s, and now we've got time for ourselves again. So certainly there's quite a lot of women in the figure category that are in their 40s, and a few in their 50s, me being one of them. But certainly, yeah, I've got no intentions of stopping, because time's going to pass anyway.
yeah. He also says, Dizzy says, nice chatting with you, though. And appreciate that, Kia.
No,
Yeah, and I've known ladies who took the time. They compete. Like, some ladies competed 20 years and then they were done. Some got their pro cards and they were done. It's about where you want to go in the
a lot of
sport.
people get their pro cards and then they stop. You just think, oh, okay. But
Well, sometimes mindset is that, what's the point of it? I remember this one lady back in about the 90s. She had a great physique, beautiful. She turned pro and then she just was done. She went out and got herself a regular job. I thought, she had potential, maybe be an Olympic level competitor, but she chose to go off and go to the real world. I know a lady who I've interviewed. Her name is Melanie Horton. She competed for a good while as a bodybuilder. She competed in the Olympia back in '99, and then she stepped away from it. She had her kids, got married, and now she competed in the physique competitor for a good while, and now she's competing this weekend at the Toronto Pro in women's bodybuilding. She
there you
competed
go.
a while back. She's almost 60,
There you go.
and yeah, and and she looks pretty good. I might send you her link and she can check her out later.
I will.
And this lady who I've become friendly with, her name is Eunice. She competed for a long time, and she took a step back. And she's about 60. I mean, it's about, I've seen the ladies. Like I said, the lady I mentioned earlier, and she's from Russia, got a pro card, did her first pro show the same time as her pro card. This lady is going to be 56 years
Yes,
old in
yes,
2 months.
yes.
Yeah,
I think I saw it on your page and I thought,
yeah,
wow,
yeah, yeah.
impressive.
And she competed in Omaha this weekend,
Yeah.
and she earned her first Olympic Cup, and just, she follows me on my social media. Yeah, I would love to interview, but I don't speak Russian. I know a couple people that could translate. Maybe I can get it on, maybe sometime in the future. Whenever she's interested in it, and and these young competitors, I think one problem is that some of them want everything like hot and ready, hot and fresh. You want it right then and there.
And right
But
now, they're
yeah,
not
but
prepared for the longevity of the sport. And also
yeah,
muscle maturity as well. When you're young and 20, you don't have the look of muscle maturity. That also has to come with time.
yeah. And I think that's time's the process. But sometimes, like I said, it takes the time, it takes a while, and you have to really work and focus. So, folks, like I said, we're not going to hold much too longer. I know she's ready to go. She's eating. She got to do a cardio.
Yes.
Also, before we let you go, do you have anybody? This is something I want to ask you.
Yeah.
What would you want out of yourself for bodybuilding? What would you want out of it?
What do I want out of it?
Yeah.
That's a very, very, very good question. Well, to not have any injuries, but honestly, if I could see the sport growing in Australia, to have more shows, and as you say, there's no money in amateur bodybuilding. I think to have bigger sponsors, to come on board. We're very grateful for the sponsors that we do have. So big shout out to all the sponsors that sponsor the shows here in Australia and overseas, because without them, we wouldn't have the shows. But big, big, big names like, in the other sporting worlds, you've got the gazillion dollars being thrown at all these athletes. It'd be nice to have some money flow into the sport of bodybuilding, because we do work damn hard, and it is our own hard-earned money that we spend. So it would be nice to get something like that out. If I could be the catalyst of talking about it and getting that change, that's something that I would love to do. And then if I don't end up bodybuilding down the track, who knows? I would still love to be part of the federation that I'm involved, so that I can, be the showcase for the younger generations that come through and keep the sport alive to make bodybuilding great again.
Yeah, yeah. I think mostly also I believe in this. I think it should be we hit the pro level. It should be benefits. Like you have a job in which you have benefits, you have insurance. If something happens, you get sick. If, like I said, you don't have to pay for your blood work out of pocket. Like if you win your regional show or your national show, you get your money back from your interest fee.
Oh, well,
Those,
that's a very good point. I mean, yeah, you could certainly, or if you win your state show, you shouldn't have to pay. Like if you get invited to the nationals, that's an invitation. You shouldn't maybe get paid. Whereas if you got second or third, you still have to pay to get. But there's politics involved in that. But surely there needs to be some sort of incentive for the ones that do work hard and do get into those, because then the next level is pro level, and then some sort of sponsorship. So Tracy's off in Toronto, and her beautiful gym, World Gym, which I'm a big fan of, because I'm a World Gym ambassador for our gyms here. But her World Gym in Queensland has actually sponsored her to get her over to Toronto. So for a gym to do that for an athlete, I think is fantastic. And World Gym is being a catalyst and a trailblazer and leading the way for sponsorship. I know Aaron Pilates, he recently went to the States, and certainly World Gym was supporting him behind him that way. So certainly there are gyms out there that are enthusiastic behind their athletes, and if we can, get more of that, some sort of sponsorship, whether it be your gym or sub company or whatever. Believe in your athletes, because we're pretty good down here, down under, but it costs us a lot of money to go over to Europe and the States and the like, and Asia as well. So, because we don't have that many shows here in Australia. So it is a lot harder for us to go over and do a season. But yeah, that would be my take home. Come and sponsor us athletes.
Yeah, because like I said, if you're out there, and I also know those guys who are. I remember I was listening to Sherry Priyami there. She got donations for her last couple of times, because she's number 4 women's body competitor at the Olympia. She did an interview with a guy who I've become friends with. His name is Glenn Young Senior, former military. He runs his own photography and video company, which is it's GPS, but also he has a magazine called Amazon Fitness.
And I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, he actually he interviewed me a while back, and and then I was invited to this premiere for his magazine, and he's just a good half hour from where I live at, in another town called Rayford. I live here in Robinson County. It's just it's just a hop, skip, and jump between the both of us. And those like he's right now he's sponsoring Hello Trevino, Teresa Vasic, and Ashley Jones. And sponsorship does help, like they cover the cost of your travel, cover the cost of your, we get the motel rooms, also cover the cost of
Yeah.
your planning, all the things that help because it saves you money in your pocket and it's an incentive because there's like just recently saw a promoters kicking out Women's Physique from one of his shows. There's the show coming up in Omaha. He's saying promoter for that show. He said that if there's not enough competitors, he might drop Physique from that show. And Arnold, I used to love Arnold, but he doesn't like the women with muscles. He don't like it with the muscles. He likes the tits and the divisions. He says figure, which is, but but it's just really it's up to guys like this is a guy who I'm a fan of who fought for women's bodybuilding, and I do this every time I say his name. Jake Wood say, "Yo, Jake, I want that money, I want that gun." That things ever training day. Every time I say his name, and people like myself who do content like this. I wish I could do more. I don't have more. I live on a very small means, and I got to take care of myself. But I try to do as much as I can. And when I see people like yourself who are in the sport, who have a passion for it, who, like I said, like you were overweight. I can understand being overweight, stuff you went through, and really, this is what should inspire people to understand that your people are human. I know everybody's gonna look at the, like the basketball players, football players, hockey players, soccer players, because and coming back there because that's sport. But then they always use steroids. But just a few years ago, there was a big congressional hearing here in America where they had all these baseball players, and these guys are millionaires. They can do whatever they want, But this is a sport where it's tough, physically, mentally, financially draining. And if you have a passion for it, you can do it. I know some people walk away because they get frustrated because they're not getting where they want to get to. But when you get to sport, you got to understand it. It's not going to be like a tiptoe to the tulips.
No.
Yeah.
And the goalposts are forever changing. Like I said, I never walked into the gym to say I'm going to compete. You know what I mean? I walked into the gym as a Gen Pop individual to try and want to improve my health. That's what I initially set out to do. But then, as time has gone on, my goals have changed. But competing is not for everyone. But I love what I do, and also all my friends and work colleagues that understand me, get me, and support me. There's been a few that have dropped off along the way because they just didn't understand it. I was going to tell you this earlier, but when I was first losing weight as a nurse in the health industry, I was actually fit shamed by a work colleague. They're like, "Oh, you've lost enough weight. You've gone too far. You can stop now." And I'm like, "What? What do you mean? I don't need your approval on what I'm doing with my life." Anyway, those people fall by the wayside that don't understand I do what I do. And but I have gained so many more friends that understand and are supportive. So the negative Nancy's, they fall by the wayside, and you think that they're your friends originally, but really they're not your friends at all, and they never really have been. And you used to worry about what they would think, but quite frankly,
that's what we call that's we call haters. All you can do is hate to the hate.
Nice.
Yeah, all I can do is hate till they can't hate no more. And that thing is haters.
I don't understand it. They've got so much negativity in their world. I don't know how they sleep at night. I really don't.
Yeah. Here, the thing is, when you have haters, you know you do something good because you know what? They are hating on you so much, and you care so little because they can't take the time.
The haters hate, but they love to watch. They and then when you do succeed, they go, "Oh, I know her." And you're like, well, that's very interesting.
You never a friend. You just somebody who you didn't want to put in the work to do this.
I do.
Yeah,
that's
you didn't want to work. You didn't want to put in the work to do what you wanted to do. And the funny thing about this, the fit shaming thing, it's like also like how people you can be fat shamed and fit shamed. There's just people just don't just want to work that line where they just don't want to know what they want to be. But you found your purpose. You found what you want to do. It works for you. Not
Yep.
everybody's going to be like you, and
No,
you do.
and that's what
Yeah,
makes me, like I am an individual. And I again, through this whole journey, I have learned not to judge people. I take people for who they are as the individual, not what they want to be or try to be. And you've got to take the good out of these things and let the negatives go.
yeah. Like one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite movie, Batman Begins. It when Thomas Wayne says, "Son," Bruce says, "Bruce, why do we fall?" He says, "To learn to pick ourselves up." And like I said, one of my quotes, like my other guy, like to say, if you're good at something, never do it for free. And also, Charlotte, I want to tell you something. You are beautiful. I'm so sorry. I gotta. I try to keep him. Calm down, other guy. Calm down.
Ah,
So, I'd like to thank you for the time. Before I let you go, you have anybody
very
you want to shout out? And no, no, no. This is my favorite quote from my favorite movie again. Batman Begins at the end when Jim Gordon says, I never got to say thank you," and Batman turns around and says, "You never have to." That's why I do this. So, anybody want to shout out to before we let you go?
Look, massive shout out to B-Strap, my sponsors that look after me beautifully. So thank you very much, boys. Chris and Christian, love you very much. And also to my coach, Mike. I wouldn't be where I am without you, and to his wife, T. She is the backbone of Team Undefeated. And shout out to World Gym, my World Gym community. I love waking up and going and saying hello to people. And if you see me in the gym, come say hi. I'm not one of those people saying, don't come to me because I'm training. I'm always up for a chat. So, but yeah, to everybody else, I can't name everyone else. Oh, and also to Primabolics, who I've newly been sponsored with. So shout out to them as well. But there's a million one others to name a few. But you know who you are, and appreciate you all. And thank you, George, for taking the time to have this chat. And oh my God, it's gone out 1 hour and 46 minutes. We could chat all day, as you know. I like to chat, but I've got to go.
Oh, I think one person, two people, three people need to say is your husband, your kids. They need to be because you don't forget about them.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's true. Shout out to them. But that goes without saying. They don't look for the accolades. They're just there, and
Well,
we all form the family unit, and they're the private side of my family, of my life, and I like to keep it private. And what you see is my fitness journey, and that's what I like to share.
Well, also, like I said, we're going to shout out one lady also. If she's going to make her pro debut, the lovely Miss Tracy Guile. We wish her the best of luck. Like I said, I'm planning on I'm going to watch the Toronto Pro because I'm going to watch it.
Yeah,
I hope like I said, I have a budget. I still have enough money for it in my budget, and I'm hoping that we're going to do. I'll do on Monday. I have to think almost talk Monday. If she's still here in the States, where because
I'd love you to do a post-show interview with Chase.
yeah, I told her that we do so because she's still here. Because if she's here, that because in Toronto they're on Eastern Standard Time, within the same time I am, so I don't have to worry about trying to stay up all night and try to talk to her. But if she stays a little longer, we will have her on. I hope we do, and we talk to her and give her thoughts, how she feels, and and the experience of her pro. I think she said she originally gonna do some shows in America first, but her your gym is sponsoring her. I think she says she might still try to do some shows here because she has
Yeah,
family here in the States, and
yeah.
I hope she does that. I mean, maybe someday if she comes to compete again, because I was planning on going to a show, but I had to get my car fixed. Oh God, I hate that car, I do. But I hate it. It's like that song Prince. I love you, but I hate you. It's just that's the relationship you have with a car.
You're so from my era. It's not funny.
Yeah, it's a classic. People talk about who's better, Michael or Prince. I like Michael, but Prince was talented. Brother was 5'5". He can take your girl. Man wearing lipstick and high heels, he can take your girl. That is
I
just
don't know.
yeah. You gotta remember, there was this, if you ever saw Chappelle show, Charlie Murphy did a skit called True Horror Stories, where he met Prince at a club, and and they was hanging with this guy named Nikki Free. Now, you remember this group called Shalimar. This guy Nikki Free. Everybody thought Nikki Free was a chick, but he was a pretty looking dude. And said, "Yo,
Yeah.
Shalimar got a new girl. She found a motherfucker." That's how they act like you right now, Charlotte. You're the new girl. You found a motherfucker. And he can play basketball. It was a crazy story. You gotta watch it, Charlotte.
Oh,
About
you said, yeah.
yeah, it's a classic. R.I.P. the Prince and Michael Jackson, and also Charlie Murphy. So, folks, like I said, we appreciate Charlotte's time. We wish her best of luck.
Thank
Hope
you.
everything goes good for her in her growing process, and also with her career and all the things that she's doing. Also with her family. And folks, if you want to follow her, her social media stuff is in the description of this live. It's in the YouTube. You'll follow her on there. If you're interested, if you're someone like you want to, if you're in the area, be here in the States or Australia or whatever else, you want to sponsor her, have a plan, make it genuine. But guys, I keep telling you this. I don't know what I got to tell you.
Yeah, none of that other shit.
No, don't be that weird guy. Be respectful. You get more with a silk glove than an iron fist. I know what you do with that iron fist. So anyway, folks, we'd like to thank the lovely Mrs. Charlotte Todros. If I got a name wrong, I want to apologize again.
Just
And
call me that's fine.
yeah, and I also like to appreciate my brothers, KL the one who came through, also Balls Deep, Lawrence Perkins, my man, Davis Adams. Also, we just got a man who came in the last minute. This is my man, Brooke Burrell. Shout out to Brooke Burrell, said Big Brother George up. So thank you, Brooke, for coming through. You're a little late, brother. You can watch it on again. If you want to watch this, you can watch the live again. It's not gonna be live, but it's gonna be in my YouTube channel. You can follow me. You can follow Charlotte. You can find the link is in this live stream and support her. But like I said again, don't be that weird guy. Come on, stop it. Get some help. I know these women, they're pumped, they're muscly to get you a little funny in the little half. But come on, guys, come on. These people don't like that. Be nice. Be a guy. Be a good guy.
Yeah.
So thank you, Charlotte, for the time. Good luck to you and
No,
all the best.
no, thank you.
All right. Anyway, folks, it's your man, Always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, don't subscribe. Have a good evening, good night, and good morning.